This video is brought to you by hoodbeast.com. Design your own custom hoodies. hoodbeast.com.
November is crazy. Whew. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler, and I've got to be honest with you guys, this is going to be one of the craziest sit or sells ever. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler if you haven't yet. But with all that being said, let's get into it. So guys, I'm just gonna say it. This November is probably the craziest sneaker release month of the year. No question. You've got multiple Yeezys, you've got the Off-White collection, you've got Dornbeckers, and that's not even half of it. So guys, if you aren't familiar with my sit or sell series, basically what I do is I run through all the big releases of the upcoming month, and I give my opinion on whether I think the shoe is gonna sit or whether it's gonna sell. And of course, this video is all my opinion, so don't buy a pair of sneakers just because I said it's gonna sell. That's not a good reason to buy sneakers. Buy sneakers because you like them, not because I told you to. And also, sneaker release dates have a habit of changing or switching around or popping up out of nowhere. So this isn't a definitive list for November. This is just what I found out as of today, October 31st. Happy Halloween, guys. And without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off the month strong, we've got a great honorable mention on November 1st, the Yeezy Boost 700 Waverunner. Now, the reason I said this is an honorable mention is because this shoe sold out in pre-orders, which happened like 2 or 3 months ago, so you can't actually buy this shoe on release day. But according to EasySupply.com, the shoes start shipping on November 1st. And to be honest, guys, I know it's a funky looking shoe, but I kind of dig it, and that's why I pre-ordered it. A lot of people don't like this shoe, but that didn't stop pre-orders from selling out. And if you look at places like StockX or eBay, the resale right now is like $800 to $1,000. I don't know if that's gonna fluctuate in the future. It just really depends on how widespread the release is, but we'll just have to wait and see. So because the pre-orders sold out, this one gets a sell by default. The first shoe to actually release on November 1st is the KD10 Triple Black. The KD10 is an excellent basketball sneaker, and to be honest, it doesn't look bad, especially in this triple black colorway. But guys, as much as people love the KD10, I just don't see this shoe selling out. So I'm gonna give the KD10 Triple Black a sit. Next up on November 1st, we have the Nike Vapor Max Ice Flash Pack. When the Vapor Max silhouette first dropped, they were selling out like crazy, and even more hyped colorways of the shoe still sell out. But when it comes to the more general release colorways, these shoes don't seem to really move that quickly, so I'm gonna give this pack a sit. And finally, the last shoe to drop on November 1st is the Air Jordan 1 Fly Nyc Wolf Gray. This is the third iteration of the Air Jordan 1 Fly Nyc, and it's the first colorway that isn't an OG colorway. And to be honest with you guys, I actually think it's a great looking sneaker. But as we saw with the Fly Nyc Jordan 1 Royals, people aren't as attracted to the Fly Nyc silhouette as much as they would be the regular silhouette. So for that reason, I think the Wolf Gray Jordan 1 Fly Nyc is gonna sit. Moving on to November 2nd, we've got a couple really interesting releases. The first is a set of Nike SF AF1 highs in a couple different colorways. You've got an orange colorway, a black colorway, and a cream colorway. This silhouette seems to be an updated version of the SF AF1 that we saw from last year. I don't know if this shoe is going to replace last year's version or if it's just a more futuristic variant of the shoe, but regardless, I kind of dig the way these shoes look. I'm going to try and grab a pair to review, so we'll see how these actually look on feet. I'm interested to see if they actually look as good on feet as they do online. But to be completely honest, because this is a new version of the SF AF1s and they do have some hype behind them, I think they're gonna sell out. I'm trying to figure out which colorway is my favorite, and I actually kind of dig the orange colorway, but I don't know what I'd wear it with, so I'd probably go with the black one just because I think it's more wearable, but man, the cream colorway looks good too. I don't know. Next up on November 2nd, we've got the Zoom Fly NYC. The last Zoom Fly release sold out very quickly, and this colorway, to be honest, is a little bit better in my opinion. You've got black accents and it's a more gray look to this shoe. I actually think the shoe looks pretty clean, and I might try and grab that shoe too. November 2nd is gonna be a really rough day on my bank account. Because the silhouette is still pretty hyped, and I would assume that this is a limited version of the shoe, I think it's gonna sell out. Next up, we've got the SB Dunk High Pro Dream Team. This is a pretty clean colorway of the SB Dunk High, and I think it's a nice looking shoe overall. But honestly, there hasn't been a lot of hype behind the SB Dunk High Pros in a while, so for that reason, I think these are gonna sit. Also on November 2nd, we've got another Vapor Max releasing, the Vapor Max Touch of Crimson. This is a clean colorway of the shoe, and I do really like these red accents, but like I said, there's been a lot of Vapor Maxes releasing, and I think people have really been getting overwhelmed by the amount of colorways hitting stores. So for that reason, no matter how clean the colorway looks, I think it's gonna sit. Also on that day, you've got a collaboration between Tyler, the Creator, and Converse One Star called the Golf La Fleur. There are 3 colorways releasing, yellow, tan, and green, and honestly, they all look pretty good. I actually really dig the fact that Tyler, the Creator, is collaborating on a shoe that doesn't really get that much love, and I do think these colorways look really good. This is also not the first Tyler, the Creator, Converse One Star collaboration. If you look at some of the shoes that released in the past, they all sold out, and honestly, I don't think these shoes will be any different, so for that reason, I think they're gonna sell. Moving on to November 3rd, we've got 2 kind of weird releases. The first is the Adidas Nmda R1 PK Green Digicamo. This is kind of just a dark green Digicamo PK Nmda R1, and it's got this hit of shot pink on the back brick. And as we've seen with a lot of the Nmda R1 PKs, it's probably gonna sit. Also releasing on that day, we've got a Nike Fly Nyc trainer releasing in dark purple. This is another shoe that kind of has me scratching my head because I really don't get this colorway. It's not one that I think is going to do very well. There are a lot of people out there who love purple. I'm a Ravens fan. I love purple myself, but that colorway on that shoe, not really working for me. I don't think this colorway is going to catch a lot of people's attention, so for that reason, I think it's going to sit. On November 4th, we've got a lot of shoes releasing, and some of them are really, really fire. The first shoe to drop is the Air Jordan 32 Lowe Win Like 82. This AJ32 colorway is based on the Win Like 82 Air Jordan 11 or the Midnight Navy 11. It could also be called the UNC colorway of the Air Jordan 32 Lowe, and it's not a bad looking shoe at all. But as we've seen with a lot of the Air Jordan 32 Lows recently, I just don't think the shoe is going to sell. So I'm going to give the Air Jordan 32 Lowe Win Like 82 a sit. Next up, we've got the Soulfly and Jordan trainer. I just don't like the way the shoe looks, I'm gonna be honest. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people do. I could be wrong about that, but I think the shoe is gonna sit. Maybe it's super limited and it's gonna sell out, but I doubt it. Next up, we've got the Nike SF Af1 Mid in this white and reflective silver colorway. It reminds me a lot of the black and reflective silver colorway, which didn't sell and didn't look that good in my opinion, so for that reason, I'm gonna give it a sit. Next up, we've got another Nike SF Af1, except this time in the high variant and the new version of the high. It also comes in the white and reflective silver colorway, but the reason I think this shoe will sell a little bit more is because it comes in that new high version of the shoe, which I think in the previous colorways might have sold out, and I think there might still be people who want to try that new silhouette. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a sell. Next up, we've got two Nike Air Force 1 Lows, both Complex Con exclusives. The first is an Off-White collaboration, and it's not the same Off-White collaboration that's releasing with the rest of the 10. This is just a strictly Complex Con version of the shoe. And then you've also got a Rockefeller collaboration on the AF1. Both shoes look super clean. Both shoes are crazy limited. They're called the Af100 Pack. And honestly, if you're able to get a pair of these, count yourself lucky because, I mean, 1, you have to be at Complex Con. 2, you actually have to be in the right place at the right time. And 3, you have to somehow get first in line. I don't know how you're gonna do that. But hey, if it's not obvious by this point, I think they're gonna sell. Continuing down on November 4th, we've got some Adidas sneakers releasing. The first is a shoe that I'm very excited for, and that's the Packer and Soulbox Adidas Ultra Boost Mid. This shoe is so clean, and I think it's the first Adidas collaboration in a while that I've really been stoked on. I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty hard to get, but I think that shoe just looks sick, and obviously it's gonna sell out. Next up, we've got the second shoe in the pack, the Packer Soulbox Adidas Energy Boost. This one I'm a little torn on because I know the pack is very hyped because of that Ultra Boost Mid, but like we saw with some of the previous packs before where they had an Ultra Boost or a 9317 and then another shoe that just wasn't as hyped, I just don't think the Energy Boost is gonna sell out. It might sell out only online on release day, but I still am kind of hesitant about that, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of restocks of the Energy Boost, so for that reason, I think they're gonna sit. Next up, we've got the Pusha T Adidas EQT Support Ultra Bodega Babies. That's a long name. It's basically just a tan or gold Pusha T EQT. I mean, it's a Pusha T collaboration. The last one did pretty well. I think this one will probably sell out, but if there was any day that it wouldn't sell out, I think it would be November 4th because there is so much crazy stuff releasing, especially other Adidas collaborations. But you know what? I'm still gonna give it a sell. However, I think resale is gonna be dead on this shoe, so if you're trying to buy this for resale, don't. Next up, we've got the Alexander Wang and Adidas AW Hike Low. I haven't been a huge fan of the Alexander Wang collaborations, and I'm not a huge fan of this either. I kind of think the Alexander Wang train has run its course, so for that reason, I'm gonna give this shoe a sit. And finally, on November 4th, we've got another Alexander Wang shoe, the Alexander Wang Adidas AW B-Ball Low. Same deal, maybe it could surprise us, but I still think it's gonna sit. Moving on to November 9th, we've got one of the craziest days of the month. The first shoe releasing is definitely a great looking shoe, but it's not one of the sneakers that I was talking about. That shoe is the Air More Uptempo in the wheat colorway. Super clean looking shoe. I think some people really like it. I think it's gonna be a consolation prize for other people, and you'll understand what I mean by that in a second, but I think the shoe is gonna sell out. And now moving on to the collection you guys have been waiting for months and months. The final release of the Off-White Nike collection. On November 9th, you've got the Off-White Vaporfly, the Off-White Hyperdunk, the Off-White Air Max 97, the Off-White Air Force 1, the Off-White Air Max 90, the Off-White Blazer Mid, the Off-White Vapor Max, the Off-White Presto, and of course the Off-White Air Jordan 1. No matter where I looked, I didn't see any mention of the Off-White Converse releasing on this day. I'm not sure why that is, and it could release on the 9th, but I'm not totally sure. I'd like to say because there were so many sneakers releasing this day that you'd have a good chance at grabbing at least one of them, but I'm gonna be honest, they're all crazy limited, and I mean, you gotta be lucky to grab any of them. My favorite in the collection is the Air Jordan 1. I think it's a gorgeous sneaker, but I also love the Prestos, the Vapor Max, the Blazers, the Air Max. I love all of them. I like them all. Okay, I'll give you guys my top 3. The Air Jordan 1 is number 1, then the Presto, and then the Air Max 90. Or the Vapor Max. The Vapor Max is good too, Air Jordan 1, Presto, Vapor Max, Air Max 90, tied. These shoes are releasing through raffles at a lot of different places. I'm not sure if they're going to be releasing on the sneakers app or what the deal is going to be with these, but just know that these are going to be really, really tough to get, and you're really going to have to be on your game, so I mean, good luck. Hopefully you guys grab them. I'm going to be going for them too. I think I'm going to try and go for the Presto because I think that's a really nice looking sneaker, and I already have the Air Jordan 1, but we'll see what happens. And of course, these are all going to sell. Next up on November 10th, we've got 2 shoes releasing, and these are the Comme des Garçons Converse Chuck Taylor highs. These CDG Converse drop in a white and black colorway, and I think they both look very clean, but as we've seen with a lot of the previous CDG Converses, I think they're probably gonna sit. Mainly because of price, not so much because of availability. Moving on to November 11th, we've got another pretty crazy day, to be honest with you guys. The first shoe dropping is another Vapor Max, the Vapor Max Heritage. As I've said with the previous Vapor Maxes, it's not a bad looking shoe, and I think the colorway is nice, but I really don't think it's gonna sell. Especially not when you see the other shoes releasing on November 11th. Next up, we've got a must cop, at least for me, the Air Jordan 11 Win Like 82 or the Midnight Navy colorway. This was a shoe that was rumored to be canceled, but obviously it's not, and I'm really glad it's not because I think it's a super clean 11. It's not a retroed colorway, and I kind of dig that. I really love the way the navy looks on that white upper. I just think it's so clean. I don't know how limited the shoe's gonna be, but honestly, even if it was a general release, I still think it would sell out. I don't think it's going to be a general release though. I think it's probably going to be pretty limited. And then finally, rounding out November 11th, we've got 4 Pharrell Nmda Human Race Trails. You've got the multicolored colorway, the black and white colorway, the tan and orange colorway, and the white and light blue colorway. I'm really stoked that Pharrell is bringing back the Human Race NMDs. They are slightly different because they have the trail outsole, but I still think they're a really clean shoe. I am sure these shoes are going to be very limited, and they're probably going to be pretty tough to get. So if you guys are trying to grab a pair of any one of these colorways, definitely be on your game. But regardless of the colorway, I think they're all going to sell out. On November 17th, we've got 1 release, and that's the Nike Zoom Vapor Tour AJ3 in the Tiffany colorway. This, of course, is Roger Federer's signature Nike sneaker. I think this colorway is very clean. I think the black looks really nice with that Tiffany blue, and I think it's going to sell out. On November 18th, we've got another pretty crazy release day. The first shoe dropping is the Air Jordan 12 Dark Gray Suede. I really love this colorway of the Air Jordan 12. I think it's super clean. I love the material that they're using. And even though this is a super clean colorway and a lot of people like it, I think it's going to be a general release, and I think it's probably going to sit. Before we get into the crazy stuff, let me do one more GR, and that is of course the Adidas Harden Volume 1 in the tan colorway. The Harden Volume 1 is a great basketball shoe. This colorway of the shoe is also clean. Not my favorite. I definitely won't be buying this shoe, and I don't think people will like it as much as some of the other Volume 1 colorways, so for that reason, I think it's gonna sit. But moving on to the much more limited stuff, we've got the entire Dornbecker collection dropping. Within the Dornbecker collection, you've got the Air More Uptempo, you've got the Vapor Max, of course the Air Jordan 12. Of course, you've got a couple other shoes dropping to fill out the assortment. I really love what Nike's done with the Dornbecker Children's Hospital. I think it's really noble. If you guys don't know what the collection's about, they allow some kids in the hospital to actually design some Nike sneakers, and the designers actually turn them into a real shoe and then sell them. And a big chunk of the proceeds go directly to fund Dornbecker's Children's Hospital, which I think is super cool. If you guys want to learn more about that and the collection, I'd suggest checking out Hess Kick's channel. We actually had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and he's pretty heavily involved with the Dornbecker Children's Hospital and has gone to a lot of these events. I think he even went to this most recent event. So make sure to check out Hess Kick's channel if you haven't already, because his Dornbecker stuff is really good. I mean, of course, his other stuff's really good, but this was topical. And yes, I do think all the shoes in the collection are going to sell out. And finally, releasing on November 18th is one of the most hyped shoes of the month, and that of course is the Yeezy 350 Boost V2 in the semi-frozen colorway. I hate this shoe. I think it looks terrible. That's not gonna stop me from trying to buy it because resale is gonna be insane. There are rumors that this could be the most limited V2. Whether the rumors are true or not, I still think it's gonna be extremely difficult to get. Guys, I just can't get over how ugly it is though. It's like neon green with the red Yeezy Boost text and then that gum outsole on the bottom. What the hell were they thinking? I could only assume that the reason people actually like the shoe is that it's the most limited Yeezy Boost. I can't see anyone actually liking this because of the way it looks. But then again, people like what they like, so I can't fault you for liking it, but I just don't see it. I feel like a broken record, but yes, the shoe is gonna sell out. Moving on to November 21st, we've got 3 pretty nice sneakers dropping. The first is a shoe I'm actually really excited about, and I got to check out at a private Jordan brand event in New York, and that shoe is the Air Jordan 6 in the wheat colorway. Other than the Air Jordan 1 wheat, I think this is the cleanest shoe in the wheat collection, and I think more people actually like this shoe than they like the Air Jordan 1. I think this shoe might have already released overseas on a couple different websites, so if you grabbed a pair then you're good to go. But this shoe will be releasing through Nike on November 21st, and because it is such a clean colorway, I think it's gonna sell. Also on November 21st, we've got the Air Jordan 13 in the wheat colorway. Another clean wheat rendition of an Air Jordan sneaker. I definitely think it's a nice looking shoe. However, the suede quality on this one isn't as nice as the suede on the Air Jordan 6 or the Air Jordan 1. It's a little bit shorter. I'm kind of on the fence about this guy because I haven't heard as much love about the Air Jordan 13 wheat as I have about the Air Jordan 6. I don't know. It's a wheat Air Jordan 13 though. I'm gonna give it a sell. And then finally, the last shoe to release on November 21st is the Air Max 97 Plus. It's a black Air Max 97 Plus. Unless there's something crazy about it that I don't know, I think it's gonna sit. On November 22nd, we've got 2 sneakers dropping. The first is the Foamposite in the Legion Green colorway. As we've seen over the last year or two, no matter how clean or classic a colorway is on the Foamposite, it unfortunately doesn't make a difference. The shoe is probably gonna sit. Also releasing on November 22nd is Russell Westbrook's Air Jordan 32 PE, the Air Jordan 32 Russ. It's a blue and orange Air Jordan 32. I don't think it's a bad colorway, but it's not really my taste. But as we've seen in the past, Russell Westbrook PEs are usually pretty limited and they usually sell out. So for that reason, I think the shoe is gonna sell. And then finally, rounding out the month on November 25th is another crazy one. The first shoe dropping is the Air Jordan 1 Wheat. This is a shoe that I really like and is my favorite of the Wheat Air Jordan collection. I was super grateful and lucky to have gotten a pair from Jordan Brand at that Jordan Brand event that I was talking about earlier. I've already done a review for that shoe, so if you guys want to check it out and learn more about the Air Jordan 1 Wheat, make sure to click the link at the top of the screen. Needless to say though, it's a Wheat Air Jordan 1. I think it's probably gonna sell. On November 25th, we've got the second Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost V2 dropping, and that of course is the Beluga 2.0 colorway. The rumored release date in the Beluga 2.0s has moved back and forth, and no one's really had a set date of when it's gonna come out, but I think it has been finalized, and that's on November 25th. So if you guys are trying to grab that, again, it's limited, it's gonna be super hard to get, it's easy, you guys know the drill. Just be on your game, enter a bunch of raffles, have a couple tabs open, and maybe you'll get lucky. But of course guys, it's a Yeezy, it's gonna sell. And then finally, the last shoe to drop in November is going to be one of the most hyped collaborations of the month. And yes, that's hard to do because you have the Off-White collection dropping and the Dornbecker collection dropping. But guys, this could probably rival it or take a close second. It's the Chanel Pharrell Adidas Nmda Human Race Trail. This is a super clean black Adidas Nmda Human Race Trail with some nice white text on it. Of course, it's going to be limited, if not crazy limited. And to make matters worse, the only way to be able to get this shoe is to be at Chanel's Colette Takeover on November 25th. I can't even imagine what resale is going to be on this shoe, but yes, it's gonna sell. But guys, that pretty much wraps up the list for November. I am sure more shoes will pop up through the month as they usually do. Also, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what sneakers you're looking forward to most and which ones you're planning to pick up. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to me, Seth Fowler, if you want to see more content just like this, and follow me on all other forms of social media. The links will be in the description below.